Hi, I'm Catherine Osaju, managing editor of the Webster Thomas Courier. It's no secret that there's a new Star Wars movie on the way. The Force Awakens has already made over 50 million in pre-sale tickets. Star Wars is a sci-fi series that's beloved by generations, but its science is not always accurate. Even though much of it's rooted in fantasy, the technology in the Star Wars universe is reminiscent of the advancements we've been making progress on for decades. Spaceships, advanced weaponry, even cloning. Today, I'm talking to Webster Thomas's resident astrophysicist, Mr. Dykstra, about whether or not we could feasibly ever have lightsabers, hyperspace, and laser blasters, and how these inventions could work compared to their science fiction counterparts. I'm with Mr. Dykstra today talking about the science of Star Wars. How are you, Mr. Dykstra?
I'm well, thank you.
All right, so the first
How
thing...
are you?
I'm good, thank you. So the first thing I'm going to ask you about is hyperspace. So with the technology that we have today and the laws of physics that we know today, would something like that ever be possible?
Ever be possible would be perhaps, likely. The technology we have now, absolutely not. And also the importance of not killing the person, I assume would be high on the list. And so we could do it, but would easily kill the person. Eventually, at some point in time, it's going to come around. I would think so. Hyperspace, traveling through it, accelerating to it would be another way that you would actually be killed. As you see the Millennium Falcon, actually, when they hit the hyperspace and all that white comes and they just go to light speed that quickly, the accelerations would totally destroy them. But to actually travel at that speed would also have problems.
Can you talk about exactly what hyperspace is for people who might not know?
Well, hyperspace, if you go with Star Wars 4, where he says it makes 0.5 past light speed, so when the Millennium Falcon is passing light speed, can we go faster than light? And the answer is no, we can't go faster than light. How would we go faster? And faster is to put energy into the system. Equals mc squared. So we'd have to keep pumping the mass with energy, therefore making it more massive. And the more massive it gets, the harder it is to accelerate it towards the speed of light, and therefore it kind of is killing itself, so it becomes asymptotic, and you're never going to reach that speed. So hyperspace, I would assume, is just you're going at light speed. How we go faster than light speed, that's a different question.
Okay, so another thing that we see a lot in the movies are people using blasters, and it's kind of an inside joke among Star Wars fans that everybody can kind of dodge the blasters. So would something like that ever be possible?
Well, I think those are laser guns, right? So they're chucking light at each other. How they dodge light, no one knows. But they do. And it's amazing how, I think it's more their poor shooting. No one seems to be able to hit anyone. No one hits a stormtrooper. No one hits a rebel. I think it's their shooting that's more of an issue than the actual gun itself.
So would you ever be able to create a weapon kind of where you were shooting light at people? Like, how would that work, I guess?
Well, absolutely. I mean, those things are already happening. We do have infrared guns, if you will, that are being tested by the military. We actually just throw infrared radiation at somebody, which is heat, and they'll actually heat up, and they'll feel the burning and then move out of the way. So it's kind of a humane, nasty way of letting your opponent know that you're there. But to actually kill someone with light, I mean, that would be a different story, and the gun would be fascinating.
All right, the most famous part of the Star Wars universe, arguably, is the lightsaber. So it could be the Ewoks. So would it be possible to create a lightsaber with what we have today, or what we know about physics?
Impossible to make a lightsaber as we know it. Once again, I have, well, not once again to you. I already showed it to her. So we have a Luke Skywalker beam right here. You're not going to be able to see this at all. And here is a Sith beam, and these are laser beams. So if they're laser swords, as you can see, I come across and try and cut that red beam, and it just goes right through. Light is not going to stop at someone else's light. They're just going to go right through each other. So how exactly does a lightsaber work? You can make it plasma. which would be extremely dangerous to actually play with. But again, I think I don't know the Star Wars universe, but I guess the Jedi and Sith go to their respective planets and use some sort of crystal to actually harness the Force or something like that. So, again, it would have to be a plasma, or at some point in time, even if they were lasers, when the interaction happened, they would have to turn into particles to actually combine with each other, and then you would stop. And you could have a sword fight in the traditional sense of what they do. How you would stop the lightsaber at certain lengths, I would have no clue. That would be a Max Born kind of question. Maybe it's a high probability that ends right there, but even that would continue on. I have no clue how this lightsaber would stop within a reasonable amount of distance.
All right. Anything else you want to talk about? That's all the questions I've got for you.
I think that'll do it.
All right. Thank you.
I missed?
No, I think you got it all based on my knowledge of physics. But I mean,
otherwise,
it's
another video
yes,
soon.
yes. All right. Thank you so much. You are a resident astrophysicist here at Webster Thomas, so I really appreciate it. You know the most about the astrophysics, so thank you so much.
Thank you.